Hello everyone! Today, Master Huohuo will tell you the story of Steve Chen, the founder of YouTube. He's another amazing go-getter. At the age of 23, he earned his first $2 million. At 26, he founded YouTube, the world's largest video website. At 28, he sold YouTube to Google, earning $1.6 billion and increasing Google's market value by tens of billions. At 30, when his career reached its peak, he was diagnosed with brain cancer. The first 30 years of his life were like hitting the gas pedal. Wealth, fame, and illness, he experienced it all. You may not know this, but Steve Chen's appearance is not what you would expect from a typical IT engineer. He has messy hair, wears earrings and pointy shoes, and calls himself the sharpest dresser among programmers. Compared to his good friend Kai-Fu Lee, the CEO of Innovation Works, he is indeed unique. Zhang Liming, the author of his autobiography, describes him as a big boy who follows his heart. Last November, at the invitation of Kai-Fu Lee, Steve Chen visited Beijing for a week and released the Chinese version of his autobiography, earning $13 billion in 20 months. This book is not only a reflection on his past life, but also a new starting point for his new company, aahs. Did you know? If it weren't for Steve Chen and his friend Hurley's creation of YouTube, we might not be able to see great works from creators like Lao Gao and Xiaomo, Xiaolin, and Master Huohuo. This is what YouTube looked like in its early days. At first, nobody paid attention to YouTube. Using videos for dating seemed too futuristic back then. However, an unexpected disaster made YouTube famous overnight. During the 2004 Phuket tsunami, a mechanic used his mobile phone to film the tsunami hitting, and in just 5 days, the video had over 68,000 views. This incident made Steve Chen realize the enormous value of video uploading. The key was how to unlock this potential. So, Steve Chen decisively decided to abandon the dating focus and not restrict uploaded content. This decision laid the right foundation and direction for YouTube's later success. On April 23, 2005, a 19-second video caused a sensation on YouTube. The protagonist of the video was Jawed Karim, another co-founder of YouTube. In the video, he points at an elephant in the zoo and rants. Just a few simple sentences attracted countless onlookers. In just 1 year, YouTube became the largest video site in the United States. The total number of videos exceeded 40 million, and the number of daily viewers reached 6 million, surpassing competitors such as Google and MSN. The surge in video quantity and users plunged the YouTube company, with only more than 40 employees, into operational difficulties. Everyone worked overtime, but it was still difficult to cope with the workload brought about by the surge in users and videos. At that time, server costs were ridiculously expensive, skyrocketing from $200 per month to $18,000 per month. The three founders didn't take salaries before, and Steve Chen had been silently paying for it out of his own pocket. With the explosive growth of YouTube traffic, they finally faced a financial crisis for the first time. Coincidentally, Yahoo, Google, and Murdoch's News Corporation all showed interest in YouTube at this time, so Steve Chen decided it was time to get hitched. But to whom? Murdoch's News Corporation was the first to be rejected, feeling completely incompatible. As for Yahoo, although it was rich and handsome, its identity as a professionally managed company made it feel like they were not on the same page. Google, with its IT culture, undoubtedly had a natural affinity with Steve Chen, who was born to code. They hit it off right away. Coupled with the favorable conditions offered by Google, such as retaining the office location and not requiring secondary recruitment of employees, it was easy for Steve Chen to make the final choice. Finally, YouTube was sold to Google for $16.5 billion 20 months after its establishment. Many people felt that Steve Chen sold too early, knowing that YouTube's market value later soared to tens of billions of dollars. But Steve Chen believes there is no such thing as too early or too late. The most important thing is to seize the right moment. YouTube's growth rate at that time required a strong backer. Otherwise, it might have gone back to square one overnight. And the combination with Google was undoubtedly the best choice at that time. Thumbs up. Just as Steve Chen's career reached its peak, the biggest challenge of his life followed. Just after returning from meeting with former US President Barack Obama at the airport, he suddenly fainted and woke up to find himself in the hospital, diagnosed with a brain tumor. Such a blow suddenly made his life lose all its luster. Fancy cars, beautiful women, all gone, just a dream. As Xiao Shenyang said, the saddest thing in life is that when people are gone, the money is not spent. Lying in the hospital bed, Steve Chen began to reflect on his life and how to spend the rest of his days. Slowly, he figured it out and felt that this sudden illness was actually a blessing in disguise because it gave him a chance to re-examine his surroundings. He used to be non-stop, but because of his illness, he finally slowed down and realized that there was more to life than just work. There were many other beautiful things, such as love. In March 2008, Steve Chen was on a business trip to South Korea, receiving conservative treatment when he met Park Ji-hyun, the marketing manager of Google Korea, at a reception. Park Ji-hyun was not only beautiful, but also capable, which made Steve Chen fall in love at first sight. After just 3 dates, Steve Chen proposed to her. When he proposed, Steve Chen honestly told her about his condition, but he firmly believed that he could overcome the brain tumor and give her happiness. His talent and sincerity moved Park Ji-hyun, and she immediately agreed to his proposal and held a romantic wedding in January 2009. Maybe their love moved God, or maybe God felt that his mission was not over yet. Steve Chen's brain tumor surgery was very successful, and a few months later, a brand new Steve Chen stood up. So, how should Steve Chen arrange his new life after being discharged from the hospital? Retire at home with more money than he could ever spend? No way. For these tech fanatics in Silicon Valley, retirement is for ordinary people. For them, they can't stop working until the last moment of their lives. It feels like they were created by God to serve us humans. So after just a few months of rest, Steve Chen plunged back into work. In September 2009, Steve Chen, who had returned to work, decided to leave his old employer, Google. Zhang Liming said that, on the one hand, he felt guilty towards Google, and on the other hand, he had long wanted to start a business again after being sick for so long. His entrepreneurial hands were itching again. Steve Chen's new venture was once again supported by his good friend and YouTube co-founder, Chad Hurley. They left Google one after another. To avoid misunderstandings, Steve Chen left first, and Chad Hurley left the following year. These two buddies are really good friends. It seems that, on the road to success, in addition to having a wife who silently supports you behind your back, a comrade in arms who fights side by side is also essential. At the end of 2010, ahhs was formally established. What does ahhs do? Nobody knows. It's very mysterious. In Beijing, someone asked Steve Chen, if the new company grows bigger, will it be sold like YouTube? Steve Chen said, Hurley and I have decided to focus on this company and will not sell it to other companies. Ha ha ha. It seems that this time he is going to raise it as his own son. Steve Chen said with grievance, little you, YouTube, is also our own son, but we were too poor at that time. We had no choice but to sell our son to to survive. Otherwise, both adults and children would have starved to death. Don't mention my sad past. During his second venture, he originally told his partners that he would spend most of the time with his wife and children and only occasionally visit the company. However, as a workaholic, he soon forgot what he had said and often worked late into the night. This is really an addiction. When writing Steve Chen's biography, reporter Zhang Liming often communicated with him via email. Sometimes new emails would pop up in his inbox at 3 or 4 in the morning in the United States. Once, during a video call, Steve Chen was still working late at night. He said to Zhang Liming, "Sorry, I'm so hungry. Can I eat something?" Then he picked up a slice of pizza. Zhang Liming said, "It's hard to believe that this is a brain tumor patient who has just recovered." At Avos, Steve Chen and his team work more than 100 hours a week and sleep very little, just like they did when they were working on YouTube in Hurley's garage. However, he is now a billionaire and doesn't need to work so hard for money. Steve Chen said in his autobiography, "I have discovered the drive that has always been inside me, the sense of pride that comes over me as an engineer when I'm typing lines of code." 12 years ago, when he left Illinois and came to Silicon Valley, he didn't understand why people who already had wealth and mansions still spent more than 80 hours a week in the office. Now, Steve Chen has become one of those people. Medically speaking, brain tumor patients should rest more even after successful surgery. But Steve Chen doesn't seem to care and works even harder than before he got sick. Now he understands why Steve Jobs was still leading Apple's work in the late stages of cancer. He said, "This is addiction. Life doesn't stop, and neither does the hustle." Perhaps this is also a true portrayal of Steve Chen. Even with a brain tumor, he never stopped moving forward. As ordinary people, what reason do we have to stop and enjoy ourselves?